Thanks for coming to this month's Herp Society meeting. Let me get my bio out before I forget. Make sure that this works. So, we are in Tucson, which is in the Sonoran Desert, the traditional homelands of the Tohono people, the Yaqui, and many diverse groups of indigenous people. As such, there are a lot of places in our region named after amphibians and reptiles. I work at the Desert Laboratory on Tumamoc Hill, which is a transliteration of Chemamuc dog, or horned lizard hill. And this photograph shows from Tumamoc Hill looking across the valley to the Catalinas, which is known as Frog Mountain. Okay. This is the west side of Push Peak, which resembles a giant sitting toad. And that's why it's called Babato. This is the cover of our most recent Sonoran herpetologist. This is a photograph of a Gila monster against the northern lights when they were visible this far south. Photo by Michael Ring. Pretty remarkable photograph, in my opinion. So we have a couple of events this summer. Brian and I will be at the International Herp Symposium. We'll have a THS table, and we will have these nifty people in Zoom won't be able to see it, but we ordered these for our various displays.
Nice.
So thanks to your support, donations, and memberships, we can do these things. Then there will be the Southwestern Partners in Amphibian and Reptile Conservation, the 6th through the 9th of August. And then the 3rd through the 4th of October, we are at the Tucson Reptile and Amphibian Show and stuff. If you're interested in helping out, just contact me or Ryan, or we will set you in the right direction. So the companion books to The Snakes of Arizona are in preparation right now. We are looking for people who would like to donate observations or photographs towards those books. arbooksaz.org is where you can get more information. Our meetings are recorded and are available as an archive at youtube.com. And before I go any further, Allison Titcomb has donated some shirts, some herp shirts, wildlife themed shirts, which are here on the table. And if you answer some quiz questions at the end of tonight's talk, you can get quiz ball. Or if you really just want one of those shirts, then you can see it. You can, yeah. So next month is Larry Jones, who will talk to us about thirsty lizards or desert iguanas.
Leopard lizards.
Huh?
Leopard lizards.
Oh, leopard lizards. Sorry. Leopard lizards, the Tyrannosaurus of the Sonoran Desert. So, we have James Hall tonight. I'm very excited because we're going to talk about, or he's going to talk about, the Reid Park Zoo, and the place where I would go a lot as a kid. And even before I was a member of the Tucson Herp Society, there was a plaque by the Algalbra tortoise exhibit that had a bunch of logos of local conservation organizations, and the THS was on it. So, welcome. James Hall is an animal care specialist with over 20 years of experience. He's built up a diverse background of skills and knowledge. Working in zoos, college collections, and medical research has given him a variety of skills and a diverse understanding of animal care techniques. He's spent time working with animal caretakers to understand animal care for a variety of species, including their natural history and captive requirements and behaviors in captivity. and the restraint and safe handling of large, dangerous, and sometimes venomous species. He is the assistant curator of herpetology at the Reid Park Zoo. So let's welcome James.
Well, thanks for coming out. Like I said, my name's James Hall. I've been to Arizona, like twice now. I moved here the first time in the early 2000s while I was going to college. Started my zoo career, went around to several other institutions, and made my way all the way back here. I'm currently, like Robert was saying, the assistant curator of herpetology for Reid Park as we're getting ready to roll out our first official reptile. So,
Hold on,
I already broke it.
Try it again.
All right. So a little bit about my history. Like I was saying, I have worked now at 4 different AZA institutions. I started off my career at Fort Worth Zoo when they opened the Museum of Living Arts there. I got to work in the old historic Herc building for about 3 months before they shut the doors. I moved everything to the brand new building. After that, I got the chance to work at Denver for a couple of years and absolutely loved working there in their tropical discovery building, working with a variety of stuff, including bats all the way up to Komodo dragons. A lot of the turtles and tortoises that were in their collection I got the chance to work with. After that, I was at the Phoenix Zoo for about 6.5 years, working as the senior keeper in the Arizona Trail. So the majority of my work there was working with venomous. So that's kind of where I kind of fell into my specialty. Did a lot of stuff with rattlesnakes, or non-native venomous, but also, again, the big turtles and tortoises. As you can see, I've got a soft spot for turtles. That was me probably when I was 16, 17, trying to look cool with the first desert tortoise I found outside of Gila Bend, trying not to show how excited I was. We found 3 of them on that trip. My grandparents, when I was younger, would fly me down as a birthday present. I get to spend 2 weeks chasing whatever I could find down here in the desert and then go home nice and tan. So all my friends went to like Disneyland for spring break. I came down here, collected up bugs, and flew them home before TSA said you can't do that anymore. And that happened a couple of times. Got a lot of good bugs and scorpions, but now you can't really do that as much. The 5th zoo I volunteered at was where I kind of got my start. Was actually Reid Park Zoo in Seattle. I was there while I was going to college in the early 2000s, just volunteering 4 hours on Saturdays. I worked 6 days a week at a pet shop, and my weekend getaway was to go clean cages at Reid Park Zoo for 4 hours and hang out with those guys in the back of the reptile house. And that was the high point of the week for me. Currently, at Reid Park Zoo, we have 5 keepers that are pretty much brand new to the zoo for this department because we're building a brand new department. We're running on 2 routines at the moment. One of them is our conservation learning center, where the majority of the reptiles are currently housed. We recently took on what we're calling the Cappy Trail. So it is the capybara, the Galapagos tortoise, the Aldabra tortoises, the female tortoises on the other side of the zoo, the alligator, the black-necked swans, the rheas. So a good variety of stuff within the collection. So it's not just a reptile department. We actually have more diversity in our collection than with most throughout the zoo. So everything from our lovely little capybaras up to our giant tortoises. This is our part of our current collection. Most of this, like I said, is broken up mostly by. This is kind of our current collection in the Conservation Learning Center. This is a lot of kind of getting people used to the idea. We have reptiles, we've got these bioactive tanks, kind of fun stuff for people to see, let the zoo kind of get used to working with stuff. And then our new collection is this most stuff here. And then we do have more because I ran out of space before I ran out of here. So we do have dart frogs on habitat. We are getting more animals in. We're building up the collection, especially over the next year, just within the ambassador program, not only the new reptile department or reptile building that will be Pathway to Asia. Pathway to Asia, kind of the history. They broke ground in 2024 and have slowly been building it out ever since. There's a nice quote. You guys can read it if you'd like. But really, it's going to be about another 5 acres added on to it. It looks amazing. If you can kind of sneak back, look over the fence a little bit, it's all themed to look like a decaying city in Southeast Asia. It is going to be phenomenal. I've got some sneak peeks as I've gone through, and think we've got some shots in the videos that you can see kind of the theming for it. So habitat builds, we are building out all the internal sides of the smaller habitats in the reptile building. This is all done in-house by one of our own guys there. You can kind of see they start off, this is the actual size, the foam board, and that he can take from that foam board, make a fake rock wall out of it, make a fake tree out of it with vines. It's all being built out by him. And we can give him some ideas of theming and what species we're going with, and then he can kind of look it up and run with it after that. So it makes it really interactive. Plus, we get to do it in-house and really control where we want branches, where we want perching. Not completed yet, just like the rest of the building. So when you guys come visit in November when we open, we'll have to see if you can figure out which exhibit this is. This is our new reptile department collection. This will be what we have on habitat, hopefully, when we open the building. There's some of them that, because we're trying to get everything in, usually August, early September, may not be able to come in just because of heat. But for the most part, this is our list. A lot of these guys are in SSP, so species survival plans, or they're critically endangered in the wild. So we're not having a big collection, but we're trying to make it very impactful. We're trying to add interesting stuff that people aren't going to get to see regularly, stuff that you're not really going to see in most other zoos in the general area, but also stuff that's a little bit odd and a little different. So you'll have to let me know which one you guys are excited to see when you come to visit. The individual critters. So straw-colored fruit bats is one that we're getting in. They are a larger bat. I've worked with small fruit bats. These guys are bigger fruit bats. So we're going to get those in. We're going to get about 15 of them, probably 12 to 15 of them. And the idea is to get them in, get them established, and then potentially it'll be a future breeding program. But right now, it's very much, let's get them in, let's learn how to maintain them, take care of them, then we'll take that next step. But yeah, they're going to have a wingspan of about 3 feet. So that's a big wingspan for a bat. I'm used to bats. It'd be a lot of fun to see how we take care of them, how big they are. The next one on our list, Burmese star tortoises. So these guys are going to be about 9, 12 inches at the most. We're getting 3 of them in to start off with. They're actually going to have both inside and outside access, so they can move in and out of the building on their own. They are an SSP program in use, so I had to reach out to the SSP coordinator to get an idea of which ones they would be available to us, which ones they felt would do the best for us, either holding or future breeding programs. So there's a lot of planning involved with it and where they're going to come in from and coordinating all of that. Next one we're getting is the little Yunnan rat snake. Right now, it's a baby, probably about that big, eating little fuzzy mice, but it's growing very quickly. This guy will be on habitat. I'm imagining what we will see with this is a little flash of color through leaf litter, and that's going to be about it. Or its nose will poke out, and disappear again. Where they are found in more of a montane species, they're going to be more cryptic. They're going to be in that leaf litter, in the moss, kind of think like riparian areas along the edge of the stream. That's what I envision these things. They can't find a lot of great information in the wild diet, just more speculation of like, well, the rest of the group eats this, we're going to assume they do. This is going to be one of my favorite tanks. So we're trying some different stuff with their tanks. You saw they were very tall. They're almost 6 feet high, but they're about 3 feet wide, about 2.5 to 3 feet deep. So it gives us a really tall floor space, really tall vertical space. What we want to try to do is the emerald tree skinks are going to be up high. So when the adult walks up, they're looking at something eye level. It's going to be looking for these little lizards. But when the kids come up, I wanted them to be able to look through the leaf litter and see what there might be. And there's not much cuter than those little eyeballs pop up out of the leaf litter when they're only about 4 to 5 inches total size for the black-breasted leaf turtles. So this is going to be one that I'm excited to see how this turns out, because we have such a dynamic in height for where the habitat and for the two species are. Nice thing is they both eat crickets. It's pretty easy for feeding. But yeah, like I said, these guys are both going to be a lot of fun. The black-breasted leaf turtles are an SSP species. So we are working with different zoos on where to get a couple of those to bring them in. And yeah, they're tiny, they're adorable. This one I think is going to be fun. It's a mangrove snake. So these are rear-fanged, mildly venomous. Venom for most people, if you're going to get bit, it's going to cause pain and swelling. For most people, if we have more severe reaction to bee stings, wasp stings of that nature, you have that more hyped up immune system. You don't want to be careful. We're going to treat it exactly the same as I've treated vipers in other places. It'll be double hooks. Any medical stuff will be in tubes. So we're treating it the exact same as we would if we were keeping it true, actual medically significant venomous snakes. With it being 6, 7 feet long, it's going to be a lot of fun to work. We'll be double hooking it, and I'm betting it'll be kind of feisty. But with that striking color pattern and a tank that's 6 feet high, I think we'll have a lot of fun with getting the building it to where you get that dappled sunlight look, so it naturally is going to kind of disappear into the shadows, and then your eyes going to focus like, oh, the snake is right there in front of me. These guys are going to be a little bit feistier. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do for us.
Are you partly using that protocol so that people get used to the protocol so you can get other things maybe?
Maybe in the future. For right now, Reid Park Zoo does not have any venomous. We're not really set up for it. But this could be the start to build into that type of a collection. It's one that even if we don't, it's still good to do that type of practice because people do have a reaction to the bites. And on the off chance that one person is allergic, I'd rather us treat it as if it is true, like a viper, like truly medically significant, than be lax with it and someone has an adverse reaction. When you look at our Western hognose, most people get bit and nothing happens. But I know people who have been, they've gone to the hospital on their own because of complications with bites. And there's, photos of people that have had reactions where they get like large blisters from just a hognose bite. This, I'd rather not have any of my keepers go down that road with this species. So we're going to treat it as if it is the same as any other viper out there. Black tree monitors. So there's a variety of colors and species of tree monitor. We went with the black tree simply because they are an SSP species. They're going to be something a little bit more unique and different. A lot of places you'll see the greens, sometimes you might see the yellows. You don't see a lot of blacks anymore. And I really wanted to get us involved with the SSP with this species. It's one I worked with in the past, and I really do enjoy them. They're kind of unique and twitchy. And again, they're not going to be something you see real common in the pet trade. So that the general public won't have the opportunity to see them that often. I think it'll be something fun. Long term, I would love to be able to get a pair. For right now, we're just getting a single juvenile and raising it up, and then we'll be working with the SSP again to potentially get a pair for it. We will have some back area holding space, so maybe we can do some fun projects in the back. But for right now, our main goal is getting everything up so we can come and see and enjoy the new building. We'll have these, kind of unique animals out on habitat that they can see. Then we can start really kind of diving in, like, what does the building let us do? Can we hold up temperatures in the Tucson summer? Can we cool it down enough to get an actual hibernaculum state and start breeding stuff? There's a lot in this next year and a half that's like, well, if we get it figured out, and these species are ones that we're hoping to and be able to do long-term projects with. For right now, it's very much just like, these are awesome. Let's take a look at these guys. This is another one that I really like. This is our one aquatic tank. So this is Chinese crocodile lizards, or shinosaurs, that you see here called regularly, and McCord's boxer. So both of these are SSP species. They're both kind of that stream riparian zone species, so right on the edge of the creeks. They're ones that I'm really looking forward to just because they are very unique. The shinosaur is the last of its line. It has that like bumpy crocodile look, but they're much smaller. What's really cool with these guys is that we do get both males and females. There's no eggs. We're going to come in one morning and have babies. They're a live bearing species. So it'll be a lot of fun to set them up, watching the female, watching how you can kind of watch body shape of when she is gravid and when she might be getting ready to drop babies just by how her shape is. But they're a very unique kind of stream side lizard. And then the McCord's box real fun backstory with these guys. They were found in a food market, and they were described off individuals that were found in a food market in China. They weren't found originally in the wild. They had to do some research to try to figure out where they were in the wild. They were able to track down and actually find some found population. They're still really rare, and even in zoos, like, we're breeding them really well, but they're still not super common. So again, this one is, I want to say that I got that picture from Smithsonian. The ones I worked with before were almost a pumpkin orange. They're absolutely just a gorgeous box turtle. First, we have to have a big snake. So we were getting a reticulated python. Depending on who measures her, she is either 14 feet or 19 feet. Somewhere in between. There's going to be one of those two. She's going to go in. So when you first walk in, she's a nice big habitat that looks like the crumbling side of the building. but she will be a lot of fun. It's more of that standard retic. I want to say she's got kind of the lighter coloration. She's going to be coming to us here probably in a month. And they will all the critters that we're getting in will all be quarantined on habitats. We're going to build the tanks out and they're going straight into them. And then we'll do all of our quarantine and fecal tests while they're on habitat. So it'll make it a lot easier to not have that transition period, especially with the way our heat is here. The last one that I know everybody is excited to come see, our Komodo Dragon. So he's coming in about the same time. Will be probably late August, early September. He will have both indoor back area and outdoor housing. We can shift him through so we don't have to go in with him. We will be working with him both in the sense of the same as like you would with the crocodiling, where we'll be target training, we'll be shift training so that we can work with him safely. If he is nervous, we don't have to go in with him. We can work everything away without having to do anything directly. Or I want to make sure that we can target train. We can do medical stuff because that's part of what we have to do to take care of him. Ours is not going to be that big. He's probably about 4.5, 5 feet long at this point. He's coming from Cincinnati. So we're really looking forward to it. We're building out the habitats. We're building out diets, making our supply list. Like right now, it's all, what's up?
I'm just wondering, does their diet have to include living animals?
No. So for the most part, he'll get frozen thawed food just the same as we went to the grocery store. Yep.
Makes it easier.
Yeah, and we'll try to get a variety of it. There's a lot of like research with longevity with Komodos because in captivity they average about 20 years. So I'm going to be working with some of the other zoos that have had them long term and coming up with a diet plan. I personally really like to lean into grams of body weight for the animal and grams of food and kind of adjusting that way so we can monitor diets carefully, especially with species like this because you'll see pictures of Komodos where they've just got a big pot belly on them from being over conditioned. And then you'll have other ones in the wild that'll be much thinner. We want to kind of hit that sweet spot so we can do carcass feedings, we can do big feedings, you can get in there and rip stuff up, but we're not having a big slug of a Komodo dragon the way you can if you really overfeed them with a lot of monitors. Okay, he will be a lot of fun. He is an SSP, so we had to work with the SSP coordinator on which one we're going to get, where he's going to come from, and then work with that individual zoo on, okay, great, this one is slated to come hang out with us in Tucson. How are we going to get it through? And that's the next fun part of all this is we're going to be doing a big road trip to go and pick up a lot of these guys and bring them all in.
You'll probably have to build something.
Shipping. Yeah. I'd imagine that the other institution, I'm hoping to have it all wait for us. It's going to go beautifully. We'll have no trouble on the road the whole way back. If you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them. I'm much better at answering questions than giving lectures. So feel free to ask. What's your question?
Komodo dragon, it's a big animal, top predator, presumably pretty smart. How much space are they going to have, and how much complexity is he going to encounter?
Space. His outdoor is probably 2/3 of this room. The back area housing is easily from here almost to the wall. And then his indoor space is about another 1/3 of this space here. So we got quite a bit of space. We will be utilizing a lot of logs and branches, and the keepers will be shifting stuff around. So it won't be the same habitat all the time. We want to move stuff around. We want to give them that kind of unique, like, wait a minute. When I was here just yesterday, this log went this direction. Now it's going over here. And where did the stump come from? And why does this rock smell different? That kind of unique stuff, because it's not a huge amount of space, but we can really adapt it by planning ahead and being able to modify that habitat slowly over time with scents, with new branching, with different logs, and just changing the position of it.
The young animal, right?
If I remember correctly, yeah, he's only if I remember correctly, it's like 4.5, 5 feet. So it's not a real big animal yet. So he'll still be spunky. I'm expecting him to climb quite a bit. So we're going to put branches and logs up.
Just getting one.
We're just getting one for the moment.
Everyone should go to Komodo.
Do what?
Go to Komodo.
Yeah.
You can walk on the beach with them.
I would love to.
You can watch them walk under people's houses, and live under their porches.
Yeah. We have coyotes, they have Komodo Dragon.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'd love to go see it someday. I'd love to see, and there may be a study, but one thing I'm very curious about is the difference in physical characteristics between the different populations, different islands, and how closely they are. Yep. There's, when I say there, it's listed as endemic to 5 different islands. How much of a difference is it? Are the ones in captivity, are they mostly from Ringcat or Komodo? What's the rest of them look like? Because you'll see photos where they are pumpkin orange, and then you'll see other ones that are just like body armor gray black, like this guy, just that impressive big Komodo that you see on every National Geographic.
Are there size differences?
I don't know that much, and I haven't found a lot like comparing it. So it's usually just like up to 9 feet, they're 300 pounds.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, the
haven't
question-
seen any good population demographics on different islands. Amazing when you walk there with them and watch them lying on the beach next to the deer that they eat and they're just totally calm.
Just hanging out.
It's so-
Too early. It's not gonna wake up in a minute. It's not 100 degrees yet. What's your question?
Is there a specific bite protocol that you guys have already set up that would, worst case scenario, you would follow?
That will all be coming soon. Like we're working on some of that. Some of that I will be reaching out to the SSP coordinator and other institutions that have long histories with the Komodos on what their bite protocols are and adapting it to what we have at Reid Park Zoo so that we can take everything that worked well for them and see how we can make it work for us at the same time. But yeah, there's a lot of that that's still kind of up in the air. I spent today building diets out for our new species, and that'll go through a review process with our vets and a reptile vet to be able to make sure that we're hitting not only the calorie content, but the protein, the calcium phosphorus ratios, and trying to dial that in as best we can. But yeah, we're gonna have to watch them. I mean, they're big, and their teeth are amazing if you can look at them up close. So it's not something I hope in my career to have to make that phone call of like, hey, we have a keeper that had an oops, but we want to be careful and plan ahead just in case.
Pardon me if I missed this at the beginning,
Sure.
but how did this come to be? What funded this? What's the impetus to make this all happen?
So a big part of what funded this. Actually, was at the beginning. There's a tax that was voted on by people in Tucson, like 1/10 of 1%. And a big part of the funding for this came from that tax, and a lot of the improvements that we've been able to do around it have come from that tax. So it's made a huge impact for, like I said, 1/10 of 1%. Here's the video. You may have seen this on the news.
It's the sound.
Something big is coming to Reid Park Zoo, and it's about ready to make a big roar.
A second.
Hi, I'm Jed Dodds, and welcome to Zoo News. It's an exciting time here at Reid Park Zoo with all this construction going on for a brand new area that'll take you halfway around the world to the largest continent, Asia, where we'll have some exciting animals like the endangered Malayan tiger, where there's less than 200 of them in the wild. Reid Park Zoo will be a proud breeding and conservation partner for this critically endangered animal.
So right now, we're really seeing a lot of rapid progress. Every day, there's something new going on. You can see the pavilion behind me, which is the terrific event center, but all of the projects are underway and are really moving fast. And this whole area would not be possible without the support of Tucsonans. Tucsonans who voted for a sales tax measure in 2017, as well as those individual donors, foundations, and corporate sponsors who help make this possible. We really want the zoo to be a zoo for all and this helps make it accessible and make this expansion possible. Our animal well-being program leader worked with scientists, she worked with veterinarians, she worked with other zoos to find out exactly what the needs were to make sure that each exhibit is designed with those animals in mind.
We hope you learned a lot about Reid Park Zoo's brand new Pathway to Asia expansion and are as excited as we are to come and see it. Join us on our next animal adventure, and until then, we'll see you at the zoo.
So like I said, a lot of it was paid for with taxes. So thank you for everybody who voted for that. And it's going up for vote again. So please vote again so we can make even more stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming up in the master plan.
Hello, everybody.
That was not me.
One of the most important life skills.
It's fine.
Who informed the master plan? Who were the master planners?
Somebody way above my figure.
Okay.
I've only been here for about 7 months now. So a lot of the board members and those I've met them maybe once in passing. But those are the people that are making those calls and working at that higher level.
The Reid Park Zoo board?
Probably. I don't know for sure.
Is it city, so then maybe it's city council?
Could be.
My memory is there were a lot of people involved, and at one point they also said, hey, you didn't get enough community input. So they did get community input because I was one of the ones volunteering to be a facilitator for additional community input. And they modified the original plan, given that community input and then this was approved. So it had a journey.
Yeah, I've heard.
They do, usually they do.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of getting at.
Yep.
Which of the species of the this tortoise do you have? Subspecies, species of other you have?
Florence, I want to say. I mean, it's Florence something.
Flores Island.
I think so.
Floriana?
Floriana, yeah.
I have to look it up.
I know they've all been done the genetics on them, I was just wondering which ones you have.
Yeah.
There's 13 possibilities, depending on who you listen to.
Yep.
So I know you, this is a city of Tucson Zoo, and I can only imagine it's taken, I mean, as zookeepers and as zoo administrators, are you sort of on your own developing protocols? I know you're referencing others, getting help from other zoos and all of this, but you guys are pretty much how much support do you have? How much resources do you have?
When it comes to, and I can only answer from my side of it. So for putting in diet requests for these animals, I work very closely with the reptile vet, and I go back and forth with diet options, and it's very much like, this is how I have done it in the past. This is what I would like to do.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts for it. What are yours? And it's a back and forth dialogue the whole time. Once we come up with a plan, we submit it as a full diet request, and it goes through all the management for anybody who would have a say, including multiple vets, on if this diet makes sense. We try very hard. Like I said, I lean heavily into grams of animal to grams of food. I also look at ratios for if it's an omnivore, it's getting 10% fruit, 40% protein, 50% greens. So we're trying to stick within those categories, and it's categories that you can easily find, and the keepers can easily find if they're referenced online. So we can all kind of come together and lean into that type of stuff. But also looking at, I've got piles of research paper.
Yeah.
Anything new that comes out, if it deals with the animals that I'm interested in, whether it's personally, professionally, if it's diet type stuff, I try to look through it, see where I can pull out some good information and share it down the line and see if we can improve stuff along the way.
I guess I don't envy your job, because I think, that the city itself probably doesn't have a vet or
We've got vets on staff.
okay.
And I don't know anything about
Yeah.
the city part other than we get our keys from.
Yeah.
So that's literally all I've got for the city side of it.
Wow.
But we've got 2 vets on staff. We've got another vet, our reptile vet, on call that comes in once a month if we have any issues. But I'm emailing and texting him ideas, and it'll be 8 o'clock at night, and I'll shoot him a message hey, literally just thought about this. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Don't respond right now. And we'll sit down and chat over, like I said, diets. I'm always looking at pellet diets and gel diets that are evolving very quickly. What can we do to improve the diets we're offering and it just overall improve animal health?
So this whole diet and animal husbandry thing makes me wonder, has the Desert Museum reached out to you, or have you reached out to them? Is there any sort of coalition there? Because they're 50-year, 80-year experience.
I do have a friend that works there, and I have talked to them a couple of times, and anytime I've had questions on species we're working with or things of that nature, I've reached out a few times. I got to work with them in Denver for a while too, so we've got a history of being able to bounce ideas back and forth. But yeah, that's something we're working on is
Local
trying to
network to
work.
everything. It's
Yeah,
great.
trying to work together more because we don't need to be like rivals. It's two completely different setups, but they're both incredible. I've been to the Desert Museum since I was 17. I absolutely love it out there. Got the opportunity now to like help build a new department, and it's going to be amazing. Right now, we're just kind of trudging through, getting those, like I said, the diets and the protocols and everything built. And in a year, it's all in place, and then we can start working with the animals more. We can look into breeding programs so we can make it work with space and time and everything.
It is a 4.5 acres expansion. Did the acreage come from the existing park, or did you guys have to buy more acreage?
I think it came from the existing park. If I remember correctly, it was like a parking lot that they were able to develop. Yeah, I'm sure. Like again, I've only been there 7 months, so when I got there, it was already like 2/3 built, and I've gotten to walk through and like, oh, this is where my office is going to be. Awesome. I had never been to Reid Park before my interview, so it was just like a really cool experience to come down.
I was just trying to visualize where they got it from, because
you have a question.
Yeah, the Shinosaurus.
Yes.
My understanding is they really like, streams, like on the branch over the stream. And if they're scared, they drop into the stream. So I trust you're gonna have a lot of water.
Yes.
In that. But my also understanding that they're pretty endangered.
Yes.
So where are these coming from?
These are coming from another zoo, actually the Fort Worth Zoo. They have some offspring we're able to get. We're getting just a single one for now. And then we'll be adding to that later on as we work with the SSP. But yeah, you're right. Part of the exhibit design is we're gonna have to be very mindful of where we put branching so that he doesn't or she doesn't dive off the branch and go right onto a problem. Because in my experience working with them too, if they startle, they go straight down. And they're not the best at planning their landing spots. So we really want to be careful with that. Of any of the shallow spots, put enough cover that it's not an opportune spot, but give him a spot where if we open this door and the habitat goes this way, which direction is he going to go as a escape, and try to build it as best we can into that plan. And then yeah, lots of cover, lots of branching, so that they can sit there and be as safe and feel as comfortable as possible.
Without just one of them,
We'll get just one to start with.
and she's probably gonna drop babies.
I don't know on that. I think we're getting a younger individual, and chances are probably.
The line bearers in a confined space, especially if there was more than one adult, I would concerned about cannibalism.
And if we were to get a pair and actually breed them, and we see that pregnancy, that gravid swelling, we'd pull her off habitat. We'd build a spot
Dragons are great cannibals.
Yeah.
There's a reason the young ones climb trees.
I love tree monitors, but man, like half the clutches I have produced, they turn around and ate the eggs before I got back. So yeah, they're really good at doing that. Yeah. But what I've seen with like a Gurnia, the skeets from Australia, is they'll get real round and it'll be kind of symmetrical round, and then as they get ready to drop babies, it all sets right in front of the hips, so they get almost like a pear shape. So with live bearers, I watch for that shift, and if we see that shift, if I get the parents, we're moving them back so that we can make sure to get babies.
Confined spaces make a lot of difference.
Yeah, it changes a lot of it, and then how you set everything up and where they can go. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a big learning curve for everybody.
I love
Yeah.
Well, we used to do a couple of things with the Reid Park Zoo years ago, like a Wild About Reptiles that weekend, and let us know how we can reinitiate that relationship.
Definitely.
In any small way, because it's
field trip.
a field trip. Yeah, whenever you're ready for that, then maybe we could bring back a reptile day or a herp day at the zoo.
Yep. All right. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to stop me on the way out. You can email me. I didn't put my contact information because I threw this together real quick, and my clicker's working. But my contact information is out there. You guys are more than welcome to email me. I'll be happy to answer as soon as I can.
Of reptile days, the U of A reptile stuff and the reptile fest and all of us and how we're networked, you're gonna be really famous.
I hope to be in the background and my team be really famous. I would rather make sure, I much rather make sure that they get out there. Yep. Yep, I'll do the logistics, let them do that, and rock star work.
Hey, name one of the islands that Komodo Dragon is endemic to.
Moto.
Pizza. Water.
Does he get a shirt for that?
Yeah.
So.
See. All right. Okay, if you're in Zoom, ask a question now or forever be, never mind.